Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Luke Campbell and Devin Haney have been going back and forth on Twitter. Now of course Devin Haney had that win over Jorge Linares over the weekend and is now looking for his next opponent. Of course he'll want to take a week or two but then get back to training and seeing who his next opponent might be. One of those could even be Luke Campbell himself. Now, if we go into what was said on Twitter, Luke Campbell basically said congrats on your win, but also he said that the shot that he dropped Ryan Garcia with would have put him to sleep, and Linares is 3 years past his best. Devin Haney wasn't too happy with those comments and said that Luke was a fluke, also saying that he never won a big fight in his life. So there has been a fair back and forth between these two, and I know that Luke Campbell has stepped up to the plate against Jorge Linares, Yvonne Mendy, Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia, and each and every time he has been beaten. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not a good fighter and he cannot make it at that kind of level, because when he gets beat, he doesn't get beat all that bad. He did avenge the loss against Mendy, and Linares could have gone either way. Also the Lomachenko fight, Lomachenko is brilliant. I know that Teofimo Lopez beat him, but still, he is an incredible fighter, so that was an incredibly tough fight for Luke Campbell. Ryan Garcia, that was a tough fight as well should he have jumped on him when he got him hurt in that second round. Considering Ryan Garcia was raw, inexperienced at that point, you would wonder that if he had gone for the finish, would Ryan Garcia have the experience and the know-how to be able to navigate that kind of situation with a skillful boxer like Luke Campbell coming at him? But then again, that is the thing. Luke Campbell is a skillful boxer. He's not necessarily someone who goes after the knockout. He's a good puncher, but again, he's a boxer first. Now, things did get a little bit more respectful when Devin Haney said he respected Luke as a warrior and in the ring, but he did realise that he had never won one of his big fights, pulling off that victory. Luke Campbell came back saying he's been in some big fights, the Olympics was a decent buzz, and there is nothing like that feeling when an email hits the inbox though. And he said, enjoy the victory, champ. Devin Haney simply put, God bless. So they have gone back and forth, but they remained respectful. Now, when he's talking about an email hitting his inbox, I'm guessing that means that they could put something together for those two to perhaps fight. Now, just because Luke Campbell lost in his last fight to Ryan Garcia, that doesn't necessarily mean that Devin Haney can beat him. And Haney is in that situation now where, yes, he's beaten Linares, but he does still need to prove himself. He's only 22 years of age, so there is plenty of time for him to do that, and I think that he is being managed very well, having the Linares fight, and I know that Luke Campbell said he's past it, but he still had plenty to offer in that fight. Yes, he's not the fighter he once was, but still, you could see there was still enough in the tank, especially to give Devin Haney some vital experience. So they're doing the right thing by giving him fights like that. But at some point he's going to have to move on to a Teofimo Lopez, to a Ryan Garcia, to perhaps a Lomachenko. At this point, I don't think he would beat Lomachenko. I don't think he would even come close. And that's not disrespectful. I'm talking about now. And I know that Eddie Hearn said they had planned to try and get Lomachenko in the ring. I just don't believe that Devin Haney would have what it takes to beat him at the moment. In a few years' time, and after fights like Linares, Luke Campbell, maybe a Ryan Garcia fight, then he could be ready. I know that Lomachenko is going to be probably closer to retiring at that point after Devin Haney has warmed into the sport, because they are at opposite ends. Devin Haney is just getting started. Lomachenko is towards the tail end of his career, or closer to it, especially than Devin Haney. And this sport is all about timing, so by the time Devin Haney has had the necessary fights to prepare him for someone like Lomachenko, you'd imagine that Lomachenko won't be the same fighter he once was. So I can't really see Devin Haney getting in the ring with Lomachenko anytime soon. I can see him fighting a Luke Campbell, I can see him fighting perhaps a Ryan Garcia, but it just seems like it's very difficult for them to make those kind of fights, which is a great shame, because you would think that those young fighters coming through, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, they would be itching to get in the ring with one another, to prove themselves, to test themselves also, to see who will come out on top. I guess the problem is now there are so many world championship belts that they can all have one each, or a couple each, and they'll be fine doing that, fighting other challengers in that weight class. But having said that, Devin Haney does need to set out a course of who he wants to fight next. Luke Campbell could be one of those fighters. I'd like to see it. I think that would be a very interesting fight. I believe that Luke Campbell can cause him some big problems. I know that Luke Campbell was defeated by Linares and Devin Haney defeated Linares. That doesn't mean that Haney can beat Luke Campbell. Styles make fights, and that was a different Linares in the ring with Campbell as opposed to the one that was in the ring with Devin Haney. So guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.